Hello, hello. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
It is Mindful Monday, y'all. I know my time got away. So share it, please. Thank you.
Here at the Cracker Barrels, we take care in our southern fried chicken. We bread it by hand and fry it to perfection, so you can taste care in every crispy bite. Take care now. That's a lot of fries.
I know Facebook is not acting right on my computer, so I'm not going to be able to do it at the same time. I'm just going to have to go back and do it later because right now it's not allowing me to even do a live on Facebook.
It's a low price.
I can get you new one tomorrow.
At Amazon, anytime is a good time to save.
There are so many
Hey, D, how are you?
that I know that are the greatest ever and don't even see it at all. How does this happen when we're a society that like second guesses ourselves?
I was trying to go live on both, but for some reason, the way the internet works, it does what it wants to do. So, today we are going to continue our discussion about insecurities. And so I wanted to go into a little bit more detail about the definition of insecurity, or having an insecurity, how some people feel as though it can be a flaw or a hindrance to them. And so I just wanted to come on and talk some more about insecurities. So the definition of insecurity is uncertainty or anxiety about oneself, lack of confidence. And then there's a definition that says a state of being open to danger or threat, lack of protection, like growing job insecurity. And so some of the mental health conditions that comes from insecurity is like separation anxiety, social anxiety, postpartum depression, borderline personality disorder, and avoidant personality disorder. So with those are the mental health concerns that comes from insecurities. And with these, sometimes you as a person may be thinking, okay, I'm good. And like I said last week, insecurities basically make you feel like less than a person, makes you feel some kind of way. And then you compare yourself to the next person. So with separation anxiety is basically, they talk about when a child becomes excessively anxious when separated from parents. So that's separation anxiety. Some of us as adults also have separation anxiety. So it doesn't just have to be with a child. Some of us as adults, because we don't want to leave a certain place or leave a certain person, or if something happens with our job or something like that, that causes us to have separation anxiety. Another mental health condition is social anxiety disorder, which is defined as a chronic mental health condition in which social interactions cause irrational anxiety. So with social anxiety disorder, you have panic attacks. You fear like what's going to happen, and then you go through depression. So those are some of the signs of social anxiety disorder. And then we have postpartum depression. So this is something I did not know could come from insecurities, but with postpartum depression, it's basically depression that occurs after birth, and they have intrusive thoughts and they're always tired. So those insecurities for postpartum depression, especially with a new baby, is you just thinking that you're not good enough as a mother, and then on top of that, having a newborn baby, the crying, being sleep deprived, and just not knowing what to do are signs of postpartum depression. And there are so many women that go through postpartum depression by themselves that they really don't know how to deal with it. Another health condition that comes from insecurities. Hi in the rug, how are you? That comes from insecurity is borderline personality disorder. So this is basically unstable moods, behaviors, and also relationships. So it may include like distorted self images, risky behaviors, or self harm. So distorted self images are, say you take a picture of yourself today, you may like the way that you look, but then you go back tomorrow and you scribble out your face, or you put a mark on your stomach or your arm, something like that that you may not like. And then risky behavior is being like promiscuous, out here doing things that could cause you to catch like STDs and things like that, or cause someone to cause harm to you. So those are some of the risky behaviors. And then you have self-harm. So self-harm is basically like cutting yourself, burning yourself, things like that, because you really just don't like yourself. Another disorder is avoidant personality disorder. So this is a disorder characterized by social discomfort and avoidance of interpersonal contact. And some symptoms are fear and depression. So if you go back to a lot of the disorders that I did talk about, from having insecurities, depression is there in at least two of them. And so with depression, you sometimes we have what's called a functioning depressive person. And the functioning depressive person is someone who goes to work, someone who takes care of their home, someone who takes care of their kids, they cook, they clean, all of that. They seem like they're okay on the outside, but inside they're like crumbling, they're going downhill. So that is what a functioning depressive is. Okay, so let's get into the types of insecurities. Okay, so the types of insecurity are relationship insecurity. So when you're in a relationship with someone and you feel as though like you're the cream of the crop, until maybe you're out somewhere and that person may like look at somebody, or little things like that. Or you may feel as though this person is just too good for you, or this person is just too good to be true. So those are some of the things with relationship insecurities. So you end up finding yourself trying to do all of these things to satisfy what you feel about yourself, and you're thinking that you're doing these things for you, for the other person, and you're actually doing them for you. So you're trying to build yourself up, but you at the same time are actually harming yourself, because however you were made a certain way, and that's how you are. There's pretty much how God made you, for however you may look or feel. And then there's job insecurity. So with job insecurities, it comes where you feel as though you're not doing a good job. You start second guessing yourself. You start feeling as though this person that just came in may be doing more than what you're doing, and so they're going to fire you. So with job insecurities, that I think happens a lot when, and it's just my opinion, I think that happens a lot when you have some people that may have been on a job for, say, 20 years, right? And then you have someone that comes in that's only been on the job, say, they're past their 90 days. And then that person that just came in, that person seems to get it, right? Where the person who's been here for, say, 20 years is like, dang, this person is showing me up, and things like that. And with job insecurities, you start to make mistakes a lot. You start to feel as though you have to basically compare yourself to this new person that came in, or you have to get yourself to wherever that person is. Not saying that you don't know what you're doing, but you're at that point comparing yourself to your other coworkers, which if you haven't had any problems to begin with and you've been doing a great job or awesome job, then you basically should be fine. But when you see like this other person, maybe they're getting recognition and things like that, so then you feel like, okay, let me compare myself and do like extra, but sometimes that puts you in the spotlight, and they were like, okay, what is wrong with her? Like, why is she doing all of these things? And that's because you're insecure and you're actually trying to keep your job. So that's job insecurity. Body image insecurity. That is one of the biggest insecurities, men, women, whoever. And the issue with body insecurity is that unfortunately in the world of social media these days, everybody wants to have a Coke bottle shape. Everybody wants to have big boobs, everybody wants to have a big butt, and everybody wants to have a flat stomach, right? But if we all walk around here looking like that, then where is the comparison? Where is it that man or woman can come by, and say, you know what? She doesn't look like everybody else, right? Everybody wants to be small. And be like, oh, she doesn't look like everybody else. But however you were made, and I'm not downing anybody that may go and get work done. What I'm saying is that even though people may think that that's not part of an insecurity, it is. If there's something on you that you don't like and you want to go and change it, that's an insecurity. And we often try to cover it up and say, oh, that's a flaw of yours, is an insecurity. So no matter how you name it or however you want to name it, it's an insecurity. So for some of us that want to change it, we find a ways to go out and raise the money or get the money to get the body that we want. But just like tattoos and just like piercings, plastic surgery is addictive. So you're always going to find something on you that you don't like, and you're going to keep trying to change it because of that insecurity. Okay. Let's talk about signs of insecurity. So one of the signs of insecurity is low or superficial self-esteem, right? So that means that you feel as though right, if you're overconfident, they do try to tell you that you're doing too much, because that could come from that person just not being confident in themselves, right? That person just may not like the way that they look, and like for me, I love the way that I look, but I want to lose weight for myself. Like I want my stomach to go down, but everything else on me, I feel as though it's fine. And I think once I continue to work out and get where I want to get, I think I feel as though I will be okay. But for me, one of my personal insecurity is just my belly area, which I think a lot of women who have children, that's one of the issues that we have, right? We want our stomachs not to be flat, but to be able to at least not have to worry about wearing a girdle all the time, or worry about, hey, neck bits, thank you, boo, for coming in, or not worrying about having to wear a waist trainer, or having to put on like this different creams and things like that to make your stomach go down. So for me, since that area is my insecurity, I said, okay, I'm gonna try to eat right and work out. So I know there's gonna take some time for me to get where I want to get to, but I'm gonna get there. So neck bits, we are talking about insecurities. I went over the definition of insecurity. What are some of the mental health? Okay, thank you for stopping by. I talked about some of the mental health disorders or mental health conditions that can come from having insecurities. And now what I'm actually going through is I am talking about like how those insecurities come to be. So next sign of insecurity is perfectionism. So I'm going to read what the definition of it is. Perfectionism is the inability to be satisfied with progress and needs to control and refine projects until they're perfect can be a sign of insecurity. It stems from the sensation that you or your performance is never enough. It can appear as a manifestation of insecurity in any area of life, but is frequently found in cases of job insecurity and body insecurity. One of the mental health conditions that comes from perfectionism is eating disorders. So for eating disorder, for example, often appear along with both harmful perfectionism and attachment insecurities. So if you are familiar with eating disorders, is bulimia and anorexia. And so those people who suffer from eating disorders want to be a certain size. They want to be perfect, but they're harming themselves by some people, they eat, and then they go and they let it out in the bathroom, right? Or they do anything just to try to get themselves to where they want to look, and then they're still not happy with how they look. So then we have self-isolation. Self-isolation is a social insecurity that can lead people to avoid social interactions, isolating themselves. Sometimes these people prefer to interact virtually in internet situations that they feel they can control. So, self-isolation. I do know someone who has self-isolation, but self-isolation comes from also like anxiety, a little bit of OCD, and again, the perfectionism. So, if they are home in a controlled environment, you know, the people who be on social media who saying all these things and things like that, there may be someone who's self-isolating themselves. So a lot of like people that make game, if you know people that that play the games a lot, those people sometimes are isolating themselves. They're on the game, and the people that are on the internet is basically the people who they interact with. So that is self-isolation. Okay, so let's talk about dealing with insecurities. Where do they come from, right? What is it that, hey Lamante, where does these insecurities come from? Where is it that people start to feel as though they're not good enough? Sometimes it stems from your upbringing, right? Always being told that you not doing something right. I've asked you to do this over and over again. Being called names, things like that. Your upbringing. Some insecurities come from trauma, right? And it comes from like molestation, child abuse. Those are types of insecurities also, because speaking with someone who has been molested, they feel as though, okay, what is it about me that basically made them want to do this to me? And then once you have been molested, your molester, if it's a family friend or a family member or someone that may be in a household, it's a constant thing. You know, in order for that person to have power over you when they're molesting you, they have to break you down. They also have to place fear in your heart to tell you that, oh, they're going to harm somebody that you love and things like that. So that insecurity can come from there. Another insecurity, a way insecurity can come from being in traumatic or toxic relationships. And being in those type of relationships, sometimes the aggressor is putting you down. You know, you're fat, you're too skinny, because that comes along too. You're not pretty enough. You know, your hair is not a certain texture. Your face, whatever the case may be, can come from that. Can you have an insecurity and then you just start to deal with it? Yes. So you can't have an insecurity about yourself. Again, we use the word flaw, right? So flaws could be, oh, my skin has blemishes, right? Okay, or I've had a child, so of course my stomach isn't going to be flat. Or, you know, I've been getting braids and things like that, so of course my hair isn't growing like it's supposed to grow. So you can have a insecurity and learn how to deal with it, but you got to make for sure that you're taking the proper steps to know that you're dealing with it correctly. So I always say therapy is always a great option. People don't want to go to therapy, but you can go to therapy, even if it's group therapy, and you can learn how to deal with your flaws. And you can also be in a group where there are other people who have issues or whatever, and you can talk it out. Right? So those are ways that you can, get those insecure, or learn how to deal with your insecurities. If you don't have a journal, get you a journal, right? So I have about 3 or 4 journals from Vision Pop Design. So she is a journal. She's a creator, but she has a lot of journals. So she has a planner journal. I think she has a self-care journal. But if you find her here on social media, it's VISIONPOP Designs. And she has a lot of journals. Even if you don't get the planner one, if you just get a regular one, right? Because she has one where it's body positivity. And in that body positivity journal, you can write down what you're feeling about yourself on a day-to-day basis, and then go back and try to work through it in that way. Another thing with insecurity is, or brings on insecurity, like I mentioned earlier, is social network. So social media in this day and age is such a big thing. Like everyone again wants to be like an Instagram model, have the Coke baller shapes and things like that. But we all weren't born that way, and we're all not gonna have that shape. Even if you go ahead and pay for it, you still may not have the perfect shape or however you want to have it done. So social media these days plays a major part in going and having these things done. And as much as people say, you know, they don't have insecurities, and that's not the reason I went and had this done. If you don't like something about you, it's an insecurity. you know, right. Some people want to be seen with the likes and comments. Exactly. But if you don't like something about yourself, whether you say it's a flaw or insecurity, if it's something that you see every day and you just don't like it, and you've learned to deal with it, you have something that you don't like about yourself, right? It's just that simple. And even though everything doesn't have to be physical, right, with your insecurity, it could be where, you know, you suffer from a mental health condition and you feel as though, you know what, no one would ever want to love me because of this mental health condition. It could be that you have a health condition besides mental health, but a medical condition, right? And you may feel as though, you know what, with this medical condition, no one will ever love me, no one ever wants to be with me. And then if you find someone that wants to be with you, then you question their motive, right? Like, why would you want to be with me? Why would you want to stay? Why would you want to go through, you know, things like that? And so those are, you know, insecurities, but you have to be able to talk through them and make yourself, you know, think outside the box. So, does anyone have any other questions or comments? Your girl KK, yes. So with the likes and comments, again, social media right now is the main thing that causes people to have so many insecurities. Say you post something and you don't get a like or you don't get a comment. Some people aren't able to take that. You know, some people aren't able to say, you know, I posted that but no one liked it. Some people go as far as just taking it down. But with social media, it tells you like when you have people, when your most interaction is with people, when you should post and things like that, if you're a person who just wants to get those likes and comments. But on social media, we also have to realize that just because you're not getting them likes and comments, somebody has watched them, somebody is watching your page. Somebody sees something that you're doing, somebody likes it, they may not like it, like double tap it or whatever. But sometimes that person just shares it, right? Without consciously thinking like, oh, I should like this, right? But just the likes and comments is a big thing. So that's why I want to do a second segment on insecurities, because we have to try, and I say try because I know it's hard, because we are hard on ourselves, just trying to find some type of positivity. Again, get you a journal, regular pen and paper. If you can't buy a journal, regular pen and paper, and start writing down things that you like about yourself and the things that you don't like about yourself. And then when you write those down, if you want to change something, that's fine, but figure out ways to deal with whatever your insecurity is. Talk to a therapist. I don't want to say talk to like your friends or your girlfriends, or your guy friends, because sometimes they can be the most critical, right? Or they'll say to you, girl, ain't nothing wrong with you, right? But you know for yourself you feel some kind of way. So write it down in the journal, take that with you. What I have coming up for Incapable Bondage, I am writing a book. I have been posting. Exactly, we are our biggest haters. I have been posting about the book fund. So again, I have been receiving donations. So if you're able to donate, any donation is greatly appreciated. I'm trying to actually drop the book at my event on October the 10th. Is my event, y'all. You better get ready because this is not. It's gonna be like no other event that I've ever done, and I'm super excited. Right, I'm super excited because the lineup is ridiculous. I have someone talking about addiction, military PTSD, domestic violence. I have some awesome vendors that are going to be at the event. And trying to think. Domestic violence, PTSD, addiction, um, mental health. The lineup is gonna be crazy. So you guys don't want to miss out on coming to the event on October the 10th. The tickets are yes, the tickets are. If you click the link in my bio, the tickets are there. You can buy your ticket. Um, okay, self esteem is you have to be able to build yourself up because people will build you down, right? Will put you down and your self esteem will dwindle, right? But then that means you have to cut certain people off and not deal with them if it causes you to feel bad about yourself. We already have to talk about ourselves and feel a certain kind of way. So, again, with the self esteem, you have to, again, get your journal, write it down, keep it. You know, if it's something that you want to write down and you don't want to ever see it again, you write it down, you take it somewhere, you bury it, you tear it up, whatever, you burn it, whatever the case may be, and then you have to let it go. If you decide to write in your journal, you're going to want to go back and revisit it, right? To see. Let me see. Okay, self esteem. One second. Okay, so, let me see. What else? What else? What else? At the event, you will receive. We will have brunch. Of course, because of COVID, if the COVID restrictions aren't lifted, it will be a box brunch. Everyone will get a gift bag. Once you get your ticket, everyone also will get a journal. These are things that I like to give out at the events because once you're at an event, you want to make for sure that when you go home, you take something from it and you actually work with it. So I always give a journal at the events. Again, the link for the tickets. It is in my bio. It's October the 10th. This is May. So we have 5 months, I think, 5 months left. Next week I will be here for Mindful Mondays again, y'all. I don't know what that topic will be. Gotta figure it out. It'll come to me probably this weekend. But I would do another Mindful Monday this Thursday. Nothing Basic, which is my creative brand. We will be doing a rhinestone and tumbler live, so if you guys can join me there, I will show you guys how to do a rhinestone or tumbler, which is pretty easy, but we will do that together. If you know someone that would like to donate to my book fund or someone that would like to purchase any of the things that I do t-shirts, ashtrays, roller trays, ink pens, tumblers, every single thing that you could possibly think of. If you know someone, send them my way. I would love to have them as a customer, and I would love to have them to support me. I am a Black-owned business. I do pop-up shops. I have a pop-up shop coming up on Sunday, where it will be in Temple Hills, Maryland. So that will be coming up Sunday. But other than that, I don't have anything else for you guys. That is it. I now have to go live on Facebook because, yeah, it won't let me be great. Will not let me be great. If you guys have any questions, please DM me. If you don't mind, please share my live. Bring in whoever you can. Bring in next Monday so they can actually join the conversation. I love having these talks because I'm able to actually get some things out, and hopefully I'm helping some people. I hope so. But if you don't mind, please share the live. Let anyone that you may come across know about my book fund. Anyone you may know or come across about the event on October the 10th. And that I'm a creator if they want to place an order. So I do post on my Nothing Basic page, so you will be able to see the items that I do on a regular basis. So they are more than welcome, or you can send them there to place their order, or just tell them to DM me and I will be more than happy to help them. Other than that, you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday, and I will see you guys on Thursday at Nothing Basic KC. And then I see you back again on Monday here at Incapable Bondage for Mindful Mondays. Thank you. Bye-bye.